Okay, so y'all, I just recently got done seeing the live action How to Train Your Dragon movie, and I wasn't gonna do a review on this movie, but after seeing the live action version and how cool it was, I decided I was at least gonna talk about it. I at least want to talk about the movie. Look, we all know the story. These Viking folks live in a place called Berg. They have a dragon problem, and all of these kids are trying to train to become the next killer of dragons, along with Stoic the Vast and the rest of the people that are trying to currently find this dragon nest. Along the way, Hiccup, the main character, finds and repairs a Night Fury, the famed dragon nobody's ever seen. His dad is kind of proud of him until the final exam, where he discovers that Hiccup is actually trying to be friends with these dragons and not kill them. Yada, yada, yada. They find the dragon nest, and out pops the big, huge dragon, and they fight. And over time, his dad finds out that maybe we don't need to annihilate all the dragons. Maybe we can come to some agreement and tame these dragons for the betterment of the village. And that's pretty much the story, at least for the first movie. So yeah, we know the story, but man, when I'm watching the live action version, it seems so much cooler. It seems so much cooler. I mean, as a kid, when I was watching this, those Try to Train Your Dragon movies debuted like what 10 years ago, 10 some years ago. We were all excited. It was great. We loved it as younger people. It was great. But now I'm looking at the live action version. I feel like it's so much cooler. All the characters are cooler. The dragons look cooler. The situation feels much more real. It feels like when you're watching the animated show. When we were younger, we were watching the animated show that was for kids, and it served its purpose. We all thought it was great. But looking at the live action version, man, that feels like it's for adults to feel like a kid again. Like that feeling we had as a kid, that's what the live action version make. It feels like that's what that movie makes adults feel. They felt the same way they did as a kid when it first came out. Oh my goodness. First of all, the small stuff, we know the setting. It's Berk. It's the dragon's nest. It's forest, trees, little Viking town. We know the setting. The setting was so good. It's just that the live action version makes things feel so much more real. Like you get a place, you get a feel that this place is much more real now that you see it and experience in live action. The music feels a bit Irishy. That's, I guess, a lot of Viking type of music, but it really does go in the background of all the action that's going on during the movie. So you hardly notice the music except for when there's like some heartfelt moment or inspirational moment where the music swells and you kind of notice it, but not really, because you're trapped in the moment. So the music it's whatever. But the characters seem so much more cool. The twins are funny, but it's kind of like in the animated version, they're actually twins, but in the live action version, you kind of have that Michael B. Jordan and the other chick from Fantastic Four, where they're supposed to look alike, but they don't actually look alike. That's kind of what's happening in this How to Train Your Dragon movie. I mean, they're supposed to be twins, but they don't really look alike. But that went right over my head. It's not really a problem. They're still cool. I still enjoyed their comedy. Snotlout in the live action version, he's much more tolerable. He's a simp for Astrid. He is, but he's much more tolerable. Seeing him interact with his dad in live action, much better. Much better. Fish Legs. I think that is the only person that wasn't better as live action. Fish Legs. He's played by the Fire Fist guy, the kid, the Fire Fist kid from the Deadpool movie. Played by that guy, and he's a nerd. He's got the fish legs attitude, but I don't know. It's not an improvement from the animation, but I think that's like the only thing that wasn't an improvement from the animation. Everything else is just as good or just way better. And speaking of way better, Stoic the Vast. Oh my goodness, I didn't think, I'll say in my opinion, I didn't think I would like Stoic so much more in live action than I did the animated version. I'm seeing Stoic arrive on the scene, and it's like when you watch the show Vikings, you know, the series Vikings. Oh my goodness. You see Stoic in this movie, like some freaking super Viking. It's like comparing a normal human to freaking Aragorn. I mean, you know what a normal human can do, but when you read the book on what Aragorn can do, that's kind of like comparing regular people to Stoic. You see this guy arrive on the scene, super Viking. He wants to fight all the dragons, and I don't mean like Astrid fighting the dragons. Astrid's flipping around. She's using her wits. She's using weapons. She's using a shield. She's trying to outwit the dragons by outmaneuvering them. No, Stoic is not doing that at all. He shows up on the scene, and whether it's a natterhead or whether it's a nightmare, this guy shows up like this to a dragon. I mean, and here's the best part. It works. I mean, the dragon is like freaking 40 feet long. It's like a freaking T-Rex size reptile. And Stoic's looking at it like, it's you and me, let's go fist for fist. Like, he don't hesitate. I'm looking at him like that is a true Viking right there. He's sitting there punching the dragon with his fists. And seeing that in live, seeing Gerard Butler punch a dragon with his fists in a live action movie, that's crazy. I was hyping that theater, man. I mean, I saw the movie I wasn't with that family, but there is one other family watching in front row. I'm watching this movie right along with the kid. Me and the kids cheering just as loud for Stoic. I mean, it's crazy to look at some freaking Viking guy throw down with a dragon. He's sitting there tossing them around and punching them in the face, and it actually hurts them. It's crazy. Stoic was he was among the best parts of this movie. Seeing him as Stoic the Vast, seeing Gerard Butler as Stoic the Vast was one of the best parts of this movie. I would say a character that's better in live action is the Elder. The one everybody listens to on whether we should go on a mission or who's going to be the next fighter to join the crew and hunt dragons. That lady, much better in live action. Like Stoic was to me, that lady better in live action. It's kind of like watching that Eternal guy from the show Vikings is kind of like that's kind of like how she was, but like a slightly kid-friendly version of that guy. But it was so nice to see it. She doesn't talk. She just stands there right beside Stoic. She gives her judgment. She looks into the rooms and stuff, and she makes the decision. I thought her character was really cool. That's just me and how I saw it. But the elder of the village, I liked her character. The dragons themselves, when you're watching it in the animation, you recognize that these are dangerous animals and that they can just kill these villagers very easily. You see the Vikings fighting these dragons with catapults and spears and stuff like that. You see that in the animation, and even as a kid, you're just having fun. You don't feel no sense of danger. You know, this is a kid's show. People aren't going to get freaking bisected by a dragon. You recognize this, so you're just having fun. You see it in live action, though, okay? You see Toothless in live action, and you realize how freaking big that dragon is. You see how small Hiccup is. Heck, you even see how big Stoic the Vast is. But then you compare it to how freaking big Toothless is. And you start to realize, holy freaking crap, this whole time I failed to realize that these are actual dragons, and they're very dangerous, and they're like 17 times the size of a normal human, and they could just eliminate these humans whenever they feel like it. Especially when you see the big dragon at the end that's in control of all the other dragons. It's crazy. You start to think that it's crazy that they even fight these dragons. When you see how big the Nightmare dragon is, the dragon that just lights itself on fire, it's insane. The thought of fighting that is crazy. That was one of my favorite parts of the movie, seeing how real it is to see these dragons and how dangerous they are. It was crazy. But yeah, I felt like the live action movie did an almost perfect job transitioning from the animated show to the live action version, especially with Gerard Butler being a voice actor and playing the live action version. He did perfect. He was a perfect Stoic the Vast. The elder, from animated to live action version, she did even a better job in live action. The controversy with Astrid, such a good point in the movie. Me and the kids went right over our heads that Astrid's black now. It went right over our heads. We didn't care nothing about that. She was acting just like Astrid. We didn't care that what her skin color was. She was acting like the character. Me and the kids were cheering on Astrid because that's how she acted. And that's there's a lesson in that. Not when you see the movie and all that controversy with her being black and this isn't what Astrid is. Doesn't even matter when you're watching it. And there's a lesson there. But yeah, the live action movie was almost perfect. I would say the only bad thing about this movie is that the twins aren't actually twins. That's it. That's literally it. I think that's literally the only bad thing about the movie. The twins aren't actually twins. Every single thing else is like watching Watchmen, where it goes from comic book right to page for page into the movie. That's kind of how this movie went to me. It's like you see the live action version, it transferred perfectly. It transferred perfectly from animation to live action. And I think it just went so well. I highly enjoyed that movie. If you want to bring your kids to see How to Train Your Dragon, you really should. If they enjoyed it, the animated version, they will love the live action version. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, that is 10 out of 10 for me. How to Train Your Dragon, 10 out of freaking 10. Good job, Gerard Butler.